You guys' hair is just looking great, by the way.
Yours as well, my friend.
Thank you. What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 223 of the Fantasy Focused podcast, brought to you by the Original Hooters. Ryan Levy here with my boys, Derek Tate and Buckey. We got a special quarantine survival kit cooked up for you guys today. How you gents doing? And Buckey, we got a special quarantine survival kit cooked up for you guys today. How you gents doing?
We've got ourselves a lot of hang time, not only with the hair, but also with the broadcast, because we got a little bit of an echo going, but I think it may have gone away. I'm doing pretty good over here, all things considered.
I'm still hearing echo there, Derek.
We've got echo. We're good.
We're good.
Just let's go.
All right, good. Just like our hair. We're all hanging in there. I think the thing that's suffering the most right now is our haircuts in general. I will rate us 1 to 3 right now. Tate, you get my number 1. The flow looks really good. Levy, it's number 2. You're number 2. Look at this mangled mess I have. It is a complete catastrophe from top to bottom. I can't survive like this, folks. I need my haircut. I need it now. If anyone can, find me or supply me with the proper scissors, clippers, I need to get this thing cut up because look at this. It looks awful.
You look like Medusa, Buck.
Yeah. Medusa on steroids.
At what point do barbers and hair specialists become essential?
Soon.
We got to bring them back. We need to go back.
You take a look at this thing I got. We need them. We need them more now than ever.
I mean, I've had my fiance Googling and YouTubing how to fade me up.
You're not getting faded, Derek. Let's be honest.
Scary day, boys. I mean, a little low fade, yeah. I mean, you got to keep it fluffy on top, though.
Derek, if this continues, you're going to have to go comb over on air, Derek.
That'll never happen.
You're just going to keep letting it rise up?
I will go shaved head before I go comb over.
Oh, man.
It is still, like, for me, Tate, you're my number 1. Your hair looks great. Levy, I don't know what to say about your hair. It is so thick. It is just uncontrollably thick.
Well, I've been taking my hair pills, so I just want to make sure they're working. I'm paying for these things.
You may want to cut back.
Look at this. The hair's
collagen.
everywhere.
You got a lot of collagen intake.
I'm taking the Nutrafols.
Okay. No free ads.
Sorry about that, but I know you guys talked about this yesterday. I do want to talk to you really quick before we get into our quarantine survival kit, which will consist of our favorite foods, alcohol, TV series, board games, and video games. But I know you guys talked a little bit on the fantasy debate yesterday. I did enjoy your Nerd Fest, but you did talk a little bit of the Cooks trade. We didn't talk specifically, though, or you guys didn't talk specifically where you're willing to take Cookie in terms of your fantasy drafts. So where do you guys rate him headed into 2020? I know there's some injury concerns and injury history there, but Tater, what do you got for us?
So, kind of when we talked about it yesterday, but I'll go ahead and for folks that didn't get a chance to tune in, Cooks has been pretty much a consistent top 20 PPR receiver throughout most of his fantasy career. And he's only, 26 years old, going to be 27 this upcoming season. Still has plenty of speed to burn and a reliable veteran wide receiver that I think has a legit chance to become the first player or join only Brandon Marshall to post 1,000-yard seasons on 4 different NFL teams. I think he has a legit chance to do that. That being said, I'm not worried about Kenny Stills. Will Fuller's great when he's healthy, which is about 50% of the time. So, and Randall Cobb, he'll do some work on the slot, here and there. But ultimately, Cooks is going to be the driving force and the most reliable wide receiver in this offense. And paired with John Watson, I'm going to go ahead and say that he's probably a 4th-round talent in 12-team formats. If you even want to bump him up to 3rd, I'm not against that because I do think he has top 15 potential paired with Deshaun Watson. But 4th round seems about right for me.
Yeah, when you factor in Deshaun Watson and his skill set, I just feel like 4th round it hits right, slaps differently. B.
Like the ham steak, it slaps like a ham steak, Buck.
Damn right it does.
Did you bring your trusty knife Sarah on this venture for this podcast today?
Don't worry about my knives, Tate.
She cuts deep.
Chop liver of my heart.
I heard that was a cheese knife you were using there as well. My wife instructed me or told me that was a cheese knife actually that you were using.
That is actually a ham steak knife branded by the company Cutco. Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, most people can look at it and say it is a cheese knife. Sure. Okay. Got it. But that thing will pierce you deep within your veins. Like it will get your throat and it will be nothing afterwards.
So the problem is with these cooking with Buckies is that they are absolute fire and you should absolutely keep rolling them out as often as possible. The problem is it makes me look like a piece of shit fiance because she's like, look, Bucky's making videos about how to cook. You won't even cook a meal outside of a frozen za. So you're making me look bad over here, Buck.
I can't really comment on how this is affecting other individuals in society, but I will say, when I cook from the heart.
I mean, cooking with love is much better. So it always tastes better with love, Buck.
You just cook from the heart, and that's all you can do. Cheese knife or not, that thing will pierce your.
So what about on the other side, though, Levy? You were asking about Brandin Cooks. Now we're talking about the Los Angeles Rams, who we spent a little bit of time yesterday talking about, but again, kind of want to take a look at the fallout from it. They trade away Brandin Cooks, and they also let go of Todd Gurley earlier this offseason. So, I mean, they've eaten over $20 million of dead money on 2 different players, Cooks and Gurley. Gurley, of course, now in Atlanta. But you got Darrell Henderson, you got Malcolm Brown, even John Kelly, who I still think is on the practice squad, and then Bob Woods, Cooper Kupp, Josh Reynolds, and Tyler Higbee and Gerald Everett. I mean, what are we to make of this offense? Do you think they take a significant step back? Do you think they just kind of keep rolling along and Woods and Kupp are the most reliable options, the only reliable draftable options for the Rams?
Yeah, real quick to touch on Cooks, I think 4th round is probably about the best spot for him. I like him as a wide receiver too in PPR formats next year. I mean, I'm sure I'm concerned about the injuries there. So I'm not like bullish on him, but I will have some shares, maybe 20% of my leagues or something like that. I'll have Cookie in there. But in terms of the Rams, I don't know that they necessarily take a big step back by any means. I think it helps Cooper Kupp and Bob Woods for sure. And I love Higbee. I'm definitely pro Higbee over Everett, obviously. I know we've talked about that at length, but I think both of these teams are probably going to draft a wide receiver. And I don't know that Henderson or Malcolm Brown or Kelly, someone we were high on a couple of years ago and just never really had the opportunity. I don't think that.
Which doesn't make sense. I love John Kelly. I know John Kelly, the player.
I don't get it.
I mean, we didn't really. Malcolm Brown was the only one that had any sort of value. I mean, I think Darrell Henderson had a small, like 1 or 2 games where he even saw the field, much less, I mean, even saw a significant amount of work, much less had any sort of significant role. But I just have to think that Darrell Henderson, who they spent, I believe, a 3rd round pick on in previous NFL draft, I think they got to get him more involved. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they do add another running back.
We got bad dues.
There's a lot of hair talk going on in the comments here.
Yeah.
Mine's out of frame. I'm trying to make it the best I can to get out of frame. Yeah, baby. Hang time.
I mean, we're only a couple weeks from the draft, though, gents. So, I mean, we're going to have a lot to talk about over the next several weeks.
I got to ask, like, I mean, one quick thought. I mean, this is the 3rd time that Brandin Cooks has been traded in his career. Before he hit the age of 27, 6 seasons, 3 trades. Is it him? I mean, does it have to be him? Is it just a contract dump? Is it like, what the hell is the problem? I mean, it doesn't make much sense.
No, I mean, there are so many things we don't know, Tate.
I don't want to assume, but I'm just like, what the hell?
Yeah, there's so many things in the actual clubhouse that we're not akin to. whatsoever. But 4 teams, 6 years, that's a lot of movement, ton of movement. And he's a good player. That's like the craziest part about the whole thing. But I do think he's going to be successful there in Houston.
I think he will be too. He's got a heavy contract.
How much does it hurt Watson, though? I mean, Cooks definitely helps. Don't get me wrong, but they still don't have a red zone threat. What to speak of in the passing game?
Will Fuller when he's healthy.
Will Fuller's even a more of a speed receiver than he is a guy out. They don't have a big bodied receiver. I mean, Randall Cobb is probably the closest thing they have to someone that can do a lot of work across the middle. I mean, they did a lot of that over in Green Bay, but still, I mean, it didn't seem. I wouldn't be surprised to see them add another wide receiver in the draft because
T. Higgins, baby.
Yeah, not bad though. Clemson connection.
I'm telling you, they're going to draft a wide receiver, a big guy.
Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that happening.
If you remember, though, I don't believe they have a first-round pick because they traded theirs to the Miami Dolphins for Laramie Tunsil. So, I mean, I know that they just traded the second rounder they got for D-Hop. Well, I mean, actually, they're trading their own second rounder, so they still have one from the Arizona Cardinals. But they're not the first round, so they're not getting one of the premier talents. I mean, it's a deep wide receiver draft, and I don't doubt that they'll bring one in. Maybe T. Higgins, but I think that we're not done talking about this group because Bill O'Brien is a confusing guy.
He sure is, man. But, I mean, I like what the Rams got in return for Cooks.
Very good trade.
A second and a fourth, and you dumped a 5-year, $80 million contract?
I don't get it, Bill O'Brien. I don't get it. You essentially traded D-Hop for David Johnson and Brandin Cooks. Do you think they win that trade? No. No. A rhetorical question. No.
Kyle wants to know, can it be a positive that so many teams want him and are willing to invest serious draft capital to get him? He's talented. I think so.
He's definitely talented. He is a guy who's going to get down the wings. He's going to fly. He's going to get those go routes, but he's also a tough player too. The thing with Brandin Cooks is his hands. He's got to work on them hands. Still 26 years old.
I think Cookie came up real small in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. I thought that he was the one guy that could have made a couple plays when they pushed the ball down the field, and he came up short. And he's a good player. He's a good veteran player. He'll be a top 25 wide receiver at worst, I think, with the Texans. But just somebody that there's something going on. You don't invest draft capital, get production like he's given you, and then trade him away if there's not something going on behind the scenes.
I don't like that thing. I don't like the conjecture on that.
There is a little conjecture, but I mean, I'm just
because
why would the Saints trade him? Why would the Saints trade him? They hit on him.
I don't know. None of us know these things.
All right.
But he seems on the surface like a really good dude. I'd like to have a beer with him once we get out of quarantine.
With our hair like this.
Right?
Oh, my goodness.
He'll be seen in public with us like this.
By the time I see Brandin Cooks in person, my hair is going to be out of control. Can't wait.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen nothing yet from my hair because I got a haircut the week before quarantine out here officially started. So I'm a little behind. It's going to be.
Look at that thing. It is so tight.
Yeah, I mean.
It's a Brillo pad, man. It's thick.
That's a real J-Fro right there, you know?
I'm not talking smack.
I mean, Tate, yours is pretty tight too. That's the thing here with my my German ancestry here. I have this loosey-goosey hair. Y'all got that tight knit style, both of y'all.
I don't know about tight knit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
it's
you're
knit.
right. Tate.
It's not tight.
Yeah. Loose knit for Tate, tight knit for Levy.
Kyle says the Saints traded him because they have Thomas or got Thomas, wouldn't be willing to pay Cooks down the line. I mean, that's fair. 2 years ago, he signed a 5-year, $80 million contract with the Rams. The Rams just love to throw money at people. So,
well, they're not loving it right now.
Right.
They're eating that thing too.
I mean, I love Cooks, or sorry, not Cooks, Cooper Kupp this year and Woods. I love both of them. Like, they're probably all in that same fourth round, right?
Kupp's a top 10 guy that should be taken in the second round in fantasy drafts, but for some reason, people just don't love his ceiling or don't love the fact that he's not a plus level athlete. So they have him drop to like the third and fourth chronically in every single mock draft that I've done. And it's head scratching because we saw what a healthy Kupp coming off of a torn ACL the previous season posted a top 5 PPR stat line. And that's now with Cooks out of town. So he's a bona fide top 10 PPR wide receiver.
Really? So you have him first 3 rounds, like third round pick?
I would take him in the late second. Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. I like it.
I love that. I mean, I agree with you. He's a top 10 talent, but I believe that you can get him in the third and fourth round. I personally believe if you're picking at the beginning of the fourth round, you're going to have your choice between Cooper Kupp, Bob Woods, and Brandin Cooks. They're all similar in terms of PPR and ADPs, and I think that's how it's going to unfold. But I mean, I'm with you. I'll take Cooper Kupp all day at probably the end of the second round, early third.
He's just not a sexy pick. That's why people don't ooh and ah and go, oh, great pick. Like when you scoop Cooper Kupp or take him in the like late second or early third, it's just like feels like one of those ho hum picks. But he's a lunch pail guy that I know is going to produce, and that's what you don't want to swing and miss in the second and third round. That is Cooper Kupp. You know what you're going to be getting when you invest that type of draft capital on him. In him,
94.
I'm with you on that.
Last year.
The guy catches balls, boy. He can get some balls.
He handles balls well.
He handles balls pretty well.
He can handle a load, that's for sure.
Yep, full load.
All right, so B camp. Some teams want to postpone the draft due to players being unavailable for private workouts. I agree that the draft should definitely not be delayed. I don't think it's going to be delayed by any means.
You know what, GMs? Trust what your eyes do. Trust your film review. I tell you to sack up. I agree, B. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Victor,
I'm always with B.
I did not draft a team yesterday to compete with everyone. Unfortunately, I don't know anything. I don't even know what DC stands for, or I think MCU is Marvel Comics Universal.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. And DC is DC Comics. You ass clap.
Oh man, thanks for the beard love there, Dried Ocean. Hope you're doing well, man. Let's get into the episode. Let's get into the meat. We got something cooked up for you guys. Quarantine survival kit, Tater's idea. Bucky and I can take no credit. We're just riding the coattails of Tater on this one, but we got our favorite food. We can each take one with us into quarantine. We got alcohol, of course. Been doing a lot of boozing throughout this. We got a TV series. We got a board game and a video game. So let's kick it off with food at the top. And please comment in here as we go along. Bucky, let's go with you first. What kind of food?
I'll go first. So I really thought about this, and I was thinking, like, if I could get ground turkey readily available, probably ground turkey, but it's not. We're going bagel bites.
Oh, I thought we were going ham steak.
Bagel bites are the pick. They are so versatile. You know, it's pizza on a bagel. You could eat pizza anytime. And those folks, it rings true. It is the ultimate quarantine food. You can't get better than a 9-pack of bagel bites. It's only like, 1,450 calories. It's really not that bad. So if you want to go for the pizza on a bagel anytime, you go in on it. And that's what I've been doing. I have a stockpile of bagel bites. Tate, guess how many bagel bites I have right now?
I'm going to go ahead and say 36.
Patently false.
What are we looking at here? What are the numbers?
I have 128 bagel bites right now.
So you buy like the sack of bagel bites?
No, they don't make sacks. They're all in nice manicured 9-packs. I have
They do make sacks.
What?
They make bagel bite sacks.
I don't trust a sack. I like a nice crafted little 9-piece parcel. But I have my entire freezer is bagel bites right now.
Oh man, I haven't had a single bagel bite since quarantine started.
You're taking a misstep here, bud.
if pizza's anywhere in the title, I've probably had it during quarantine.
Well, Bagel Bites, thankfully, is not in that title.
I mean, I'm more of a pizza rolls guy than I'm a Bagel Bites guy.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
hell yeah.
So what is your pick?
I mean, I got to go with Jack's Frozen Pizza.
Jack's. That's like the $2.99 pizza too. That's like real cardboard pizza.
Real dog shit. It's fine. It's like I'm bottom shelf dog food for human beings. I mean, we're going again. Bare essential, something real quick and easy for me to be able to make. Though, again, we know my cooking skills are non-existent. So
have you ever lifted a spatula or a knife? Ever?
Yeah, a spatula, yes. I mean, you got to be able to scoop up the pizza rolls off the tray.
Fair. Have you ever lifted a knife?
Yes. I mean, there's been very few times where I've actually dabbled in cooking. The Super Bowl parties is like my one exception where I'll spend some time in the kitchen. I have this taco dip that I absolutely love making, and we'll slave away in the kitchen for an entirety of 30 minutes to be able to make that happen.
I've actually had your taco dip. It is pretty solid, Tater.
Thank you. I know I'm shocked every time that some people eat something that I actually construct from base form into a contraption and don't get sick. Like that's a win in my book, much less if somebody gives me a compliment and says it's good.
Do you remember the chili that Quake had made 5 years ago, Super Bowl Sunday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was so bad.
I mean, I'm a huge dip fan, which is actually something that was a little bit difficult not to go down that road for a food that is an essential for me. It locked up in the house for an extended amount of time. I really did think about going I love French onion dip. I do love me some buff chick dip too, but you have to make those. You can't
survive on dip.
Yeah, you can. Well, because
I argue that.
Listen, I was prepared here. I had frozen pizza written down as my number one because I do enjoy a frozen pizza. I've grown up a little bit and I go with a cauliflower crust frozen pizza, so it's a little bit healthier. I don't.
No, you haven't. You have not grown up.
So I spent $10 on my frozen pizzas instead of $2.99.
I'll say this:
sorry,
I've never
more on za.
Tate. I've never had Jack's, but I guarantee I'd love it. I would love it.
It's good. Jack's is good. I mean, it's you can find it for like 99 cents in the hood for sure.
It's one of those that's so good that you can't wait to bite into it, so you always burn the roof of your mouth.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to do a Palermo's Primo Thin this evening. I have a really good evening plan.
How many of those do you have stockpiled in your? I mean, dude, you might as well just buy a freezer and to hell with the fridge.
I need a big freezer. I really do.
All right, so I can't use frozen pizza since you guys already took Bagel Bites and Jack's Frozen Pizza.
They're already spoken for. They're spoken.
Yeah, already spoken for. So I did have a backup plan because I just knew that Tate was going frozen za here. So something that I've had a lot of in the last 4 or 5 weeks out here is chips and salsa. I'm going to keep it simple. Not a frozen item.
Nice
and
pick.
You can have it daily and not feel all that guilty about it. I love chips and salsa lately, and I've only started eating salsa since I've been a married man. Never had salsa before in my life.
What?
Yeah, until the last 6
It
years.
took you to get married and have matrimony to be able to appreciate salsa?
Yes.
So what did you do?
God bless her, man.
Chili's back in the day, and they would bring out
queso.
Free. But well, yeah. I mean, I'd always get queso too. I mean, I was the asshole that I went out went out with a group of 4, and we all wanted queso, but I wanted my own queso so much that I ordered a separate one just for myself, while the other 3 at the table got to share amongst one thing of queso. I got my own skillet.
That's impressive. Did you eat it with a spoon?
No, just use the chip as a scoop.
I prefer salsa to queso.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
What the? No.
Yeah. Yep.
God.
Give me those tomatoes, roasted garlic. I'm in.
I love it.
All right.
Speaking of
I
tomatoes,
love your pick. It's a really good pick. That was
Thank
my
you.
second in line, but Bagel Bites sustains us.
Yeah, that is a good choice. But speaking of tomatoes, I'm trying to force myself to like Bloody Marys in this quarantine. So that brings us to our next category. What type of booze is in your quarantine survival kit? Tater, you're first on this one.
Oh, I'm going first. Old fashioned. If I can just go ahead and have me some old fashioned, that will get me through. I don't want to go with a beer because it takes. That's going to add way too many calories to the old gut. I mean, we're already seeing the hair go up. I don't want to see the waistline expand. So I got to keep it to where I only need to have a couple of cocktails in order to be able to hit the finish line or to the desired strike zone. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a little bit of whiskey. So that's my and how I like it prepared the most.
That's a good pick.
Is old
That's a good solid pick. I'm going Miller Lite. I mean, can you blame me? I'm going to drink about 800,000 Miller Lights in this quarantine.
What are you at right now?
Like 600,000.
I mean, these are good choices. Personally, my favorite cocktail is an old fashioned as well, and I'm a whiskey guy, so I enjoy that. But during this quarantine, I've been trying to watch The Figure a little bit. I've been working out every day. You guys heard me talking about Beachbody on Demand. There's a lot of sugar in an old fashioned, Tater, and it also takes a lot of effort to make an old fashioned. So
I'm a fan of diabetes.
Jesus, Tate.
I'm kidding. I joke.
No, you are though. You are.
It's not that healthy, But I am a whiskey guy, so I see Victor down there talking Ryan Ginger. I dig you on that. I've been getting into the Casamigos lately. I do like the silver though, not the gold that Buckey likes.
I like that gold, man.
Yeah,
I love the Reposado.
Casamigos. What's that?
Yeah, it's George Clooney.
It's Clooney's tequila. That's all you need to know. It's a handsome tequila.
The Rock just came out with tequila, and I haven't tried it yet.
Wait, The Rock has a tequila?
Yeah, Google it. The Rock has a tequila.
Nah, I'd prefer not to.
Don't want that in the search history?
Not the search history, but I just don't really want anything to do with The Rock. I gotta admit, hand up. Jumanji 2. The Danny DeVito Rock thing, that sucked. That was terrible.
I watched it. I did watch it.
Technically, it's Jumanji 3 because the first Jumanji came out with Robin Williams, your boy. But yes, I get what you're saying. The second of the new.
It was a fun movie. That part of it sucked. And that was all on The Rock.
Together? They crashed a wedding together.
It's all on The Rock, dude.
Don't blame The Rock.
The failure of that film lies solely with The Rock.
All
right. So my booze,
The Rock. Otherwise, we're gonna get into an argument here. Let's go, baby.
I have it figured out though, because I do enjoy beer too. But so for the first couple of weeks, I was drinking a lot of beer during the quarantine, and I've since grown up now also to enjoy the seltzers, and I have now tried every flavor that's out there, every brand that's out there. Obviously, the classic White Claws. They came out with a second flavor line, which is pretty delicious. The watermelons are pretty good. Bud Light seltzers are pretty solid as well. But recently, I have tried the Corona seltzer, and the Corona seltzers are absolutely delicious. They have a blackberry lime flavor.
Wow.
I believe it's blackberry lime. And those are quite delicious. But what I don't understand is why all of these companies are just putting out, like, why do you have to still have the one subpar flavor in the variety pack, whether it's lemon or lime? I don't understand. There's no way there's psychos out there that actually enjoy these flavors.
Here's the thing.
I like lime.
I do too. I like lime as well, but I feel like if you were to get a flavor pack, a variety pack, you're always going to get a dud in there. Why do we still have these duds? I'm with Lindsay L right there. Salsa over queso for sure.
Somebody wants to know what flavor dip you got over there, Buck.
Oh, it's wintergreen.
So Levy, I didn't know you were such a seltzer savant. I didn't know you were sitting there doing the rounds, testing.
This is recent.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with a lime or a lemon seltzer. I mean, I'm sorry that it's doesn't fit y'all's fancy, but I guess I'm one of those plain Jane dudes. I mean, remember back to the Fantasy Focus roots, boys. We used to go live on Saturdays when I lived in the Windy City.
Yes.
Boy, Ryan Levy, and I brought over a 12-pack of Bud Light Lime.
I'll never forget that day.
Which everybody
I'm serious. Like someday, 40 years from now, when I'm giving your eulogy, Tater, I will reference that Bud Light Lime podcast episode, like podcast episode 48.
Just tating some Bud Light limes.
Yeah, he came over. I was like, "Are you serious?"
It was the first time that Levy ever, like when I came over to record at Levy's, and he gave me just like this look of disappointment.
You like Bud Light
like,
Lime?
what is that? Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I like Bud Light Lime. I'm sorry. This upsets you so much. It shouldn't.
No, it
surprise
doesn't. I mean, it just makes me a little bit more concerned than I was previously.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
It's okay. No, you don't disappoint me. Steve, melted Velveeta Rotel. Boom. Hit it. Sweet spot.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Steve knows exactly what he's doing.
Absolutely. I can tell you from experience, he does know what he's doing.
My goodness. I could put a tortilla through that. My God.
Absolutely. All right. So to summarize the alcohol of choice in the quarantine survival kit, Tater is taking old fashions with him. So he's bringing several items here, making it complex.
Yeah, very complex. Yeah.
Bucky's bringing the Miller Lite.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm bringing the alcoholic seltzer. And I'm leaning towards Corona seltzer. Everyone's in the seltzer game now. I've tried them all, but I really like the Corona flavors.
Why have you found yourself pivoting towards seltzers?
Because I'm on the quarantine cut. I'm trying to stay healthier, and I feel like I'm not going to get a beer belly if I drink seltzer water. It feels like I'm hydrating and drinking at the same time, and I'm not getting the extra calories of a beer.
That's just so false. Patently false.
It's all in your head, Buck.
No, it really isn't. Like you're getting the same amount of calories in each seltzer.
Actually, I don't know that that's true. We might need to verify this. And
We do need to verify
Hold on, if
that.
we're going with caloric intake here, I mean, right now, assess your foods. I've got thin crust pizza. Bucky's got bagel bites, and you've got chips and salsa. Old fashions. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of sugar in there. I agree with that. Bucky's rocking the Miller Lite, but I mean, what are you just drinking Casamigos straight from the bottle?
Yes.
No, he's going with all these sorts of different seltzers and all sorts of spices.
That's complex in its nature too.
I believe you call it Cointreau, the stuff in the little orange bottle. Make a little makeshift margarita.
Yep.
It's pretty delicious.
Yeah, damn delicious. Oh yeah.
Shall we move on to television series, gents? I am curious to get your take here. I've watched a lot of television, a lot of Netflix throughout this. So
Too much.
yeah, I really wanted to bring it back to like something that if I was going to recommend someone who had never watched Netflix or had never watched a series before and they're trapped at home, what would you recommend? So
if any of you say Tiger King, I'll smack you.
I'm not on Team Tiger King, even though I did watch it. But I'll kick us off this time. So I wanted to put some thought in this. It needs to have multiple seasons, in my opinion, because you need something that you can binge watch over several weeks, right? And I wanted to choose one of my favorite shows of all time. So I went with Breaking Bad here because I think it's a sound choice. It's an easy choice. They're probably like a 2-1 favorite here to win this section of the quarantine survival kit.
You stole mine. Damn it.
Yeah, it's just a deep show. I've now watched it through twice. I watched it the second time through because my wife had never seen it before. And if you want to get even crazier, you can then parlay that into Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul, as a lot of our friends call Better Call Nap. It is a little bit slow. It's a little bit boring. But if you really pay attention, sometimes I need to watch some of these episodes twice. It is cool to see like the prequel to Breaking Bad. It's a very deep show. It's well written.
The prequel, but with the actors having aged, it's weird.
Whatever.
I don't think you can count prequels and sequels to one TV series. We have to pick one TV series.
It's Breaking Bad.
It's Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad's still great.
It's mind-blowing. It's a great show.
I mean, just the character development of Walter White alone. Ooh. And I still think the first episode is the best episode. How it starts off, him in his underwear, out in the middle of the desert. It's fantastic. Buckey, go ahead. I'm interested to see where Buck goes with this, because I know
where I'm going with it.
He's a film savant.
It is The Wire 10 out of 10 times. Best show that's ever been made. Police drama, and it is such an intrinsic look at society. I love it. There's nothing better than The Wire. Levy, you're on what, episode 4?
Episode 4. I just started per Buck's recommendation. So that is my quarantine survival kit currently.
The Wire, you can't miss. Every episode slaps. It slaps.
I just finished season 4 last night.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
So, all right.
I won't spoil it. It's a damn good show, man. I mean, the storytelling aspect of it, along with like what it feels like some gritty realism.
Gritty realism, characterization is like the two things that show does better than any other show.
It's damn good, and I haven't seen the end of it yet, but it's got me hooked. I understand why you'd have it at number 1. It's even if the show were to end at the end of season 4, I would still go, damn, that was a fun ride. That was a lot of fun.
Did you get past Marlo Stanfield?
Not yet, no.
Don't spoil anything.
That's what I'm saying. Wait, I can't spoil. I mean, Levy's only 3 episodes in. I'm all the way to season 4.
Buddy, get to Marlo.
It's
when
good.
Shit gets real.
It's good. It's good. So
you'll be impressed.
Thank you, babe. I know who Marlo is. Yes, thank you, Peanut Gallery.
They introduce Marlo. Yes, they do.
They've already. I mean, I know who Marlo is. Anyway, point is, well, then I mean, it's gonna make me have to pivot. I was gonna go with Breaking Bad, The Wire, and if you're looking for just sheer content, though, The Simpsons has to be brought up. Because you're talking about something that no matter how long this quarantine lasts, you'll have something to watch for the next a new episode, new content for what? Probably 10 years?
30 years. What are you talking about?
30 years worth of content. They didn't come up with a new episode every single day of those 30 years, though. So, I mean, they have seasons and such. Fair. So, but still, I mean, the longevity of that show is just, kudos to that entire story writing crew.
It doesn't hit me though.
It still feels just kind of like
I watch it, I like it, but it ain't The Wire.
The same thing can be said for something like South Park. I personally think that South Park has lasted way longer, and I know that some of the episodes are completely, ridiculous and stupid bullshit, but there is a lot of brilliant writing with current events in those shows. Yeah, so I actually want to get, and it is funny in a lot of circumstances. I actually really enjoy South Park.
Is that your official pick?
No.
Okay.
It's Game of Thrones.
Okay.
You made me pivot. I'm not going to take Breaking Bad when you took Breaking Bad, so I got to pivot.
No.
Game of Thrones. What I'll probably do is I'll just stop watching it after season 6.
Yeah.
When the show peaked was at the end of season 6. Season 7, season 8 has great production value, but the storyline, story writing, decisions almost ruin the entire experience. And some people it does. But the first 6 seasons, really the first 4 seasons were the best. But first 6 seasons of that show, unrivaled as far as you talk about a way to fit in fantasy elements with real drama in a political sense that has real consequences to bad decisions. And there is a feeling that anybody can get got at any given moment.
Well, they did that season 2, just like, pull the plug.
Season 1, season 3, even season 4 had some like, holy shit, they just killed that guy off moment. Levy, I know you're just going to call it Dungeons and Dragons and shit.
If I'm going to watch Dungeons and Dragons, I might as well just rewatch Lost,
Isn't there like
my thing? I don't know. I tried to watch
Island.
I just tried to watch the first episode of Game of Thrones 3 or 4 different times, and I fell asleep every time. I don't know what it is.
No, it's a wonderful show through 6 seasons.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I put that little asterisk on it. If you just take season 6 as the end of it, boom, great show.
But not really, because there's so many unanswered questions at that point, Tate.
I know, Bucks. You're nitpicking me, and I get it. Our list is our list, and we have to nitpick each other. But I'm going God.
All right, no, I completely agree with the pick.
It even has rewatch value in the fact that they set up a lot of hints for things that come to fruition later in the show.
Yeah, but
they set things
so
up
bad later. It sucked so bad later.
All right,
we messed it up.
We got to move on. We could sit here and nitpick Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you guys are losing me on the God talk. Leonidas says, "Sup, fam? What's up, man? Hope you're doing well." Narcos Mexico. I have not watched Mexico yet. I do need to watch it. I've watched the first episode, so you really got to pay attention though, because if you don't speak Spanish, you need to pay attention. That's for sure.
Levy's watched the first episode of every TV series known to man. He just his getting to the second episode percentage is probably somewhere around 7%.
I like to spread my bullets, man.
Spread those bullets, Levy.
Either that or Lindsay puts the kibosh on it after one episode. She's like, "Yeah, I'm not watching this shit." So that means you're not watching this shit.
Well, to give reference here, Lindsay, Levy's lovely wife, texted me after the second episode of The Wire. Does this shit get any better?
Yes, confirmed.
And I was like, yes, hang on, please. Well, Ryan's bored too.
Gotta give it some time. I'm
in. I'm gonna watch it.
The Wire builds. It's a slow burn.
Great characters there. Dried Ocean likes Family Guy. Will, what's up, dude? Have we seen Big Mouth on Netflix?
No.
I have not.
Haven't. Nope. Can't talk shit about it if I haven't seen it.
I'm really into the speaking of Netflix real quick, I know we're going a little bit off topic, but I'm into the Harlan Coben series lately. There's a few of those out there. Yeah, it's like English drama / murder mystery. It's interesting. He's an author apparently, and they've made the guy from Dexter's in one of the shows. I forget what the show's called, but there's 3 different shows on Netflix that are worth checking out. I
always get intrigued by the murder mysteries. I watched the Conversations with a Killer or Confessions of a Killer or something like that with Ted Bundy, like the Ted Bundy special.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that he was like a famous serial killer. I didn't know he escaped from a courthouse and escaped from a prison and then went on a killing spree. I mean, it's just mind blowing. I mean, some of the shit that happened, with him in possession of authorities. That's nuts. So, and then I saw the Zac Efron Netflix special, which was like a movie on it as well, which was a little disappointing. But I don't know why I gravitate towards that type of shit, but it is interesting, those murder mysteries.
Bottom line, Ted Bundy, bad guy.
Bad guy. For sure, bad
Thank
guy.
you for summing it up to where we can understand it.
Yeah.
He was a bad dude, man.
Let's move on to board games, and I do want to admit I have not played a single board game since quarantine, so this is just a personal favorite board game of mine that I have listed here. But I think we're back to Bucky kicking us off.
I'll kick it off. I like Uno.
Okay,
simple.
That's a card game.
Oh, it's a card game, but it's a board game.
Same thing. I mean, I would say that classifies.
I think it classifies. Thank you, Taylor.
Fine.
Even though you nixed my pick of Jon Snow as a human yesterday, I'll go ahead. It's all right. It's all right. No, I'll support Bucky. It's fine. I'll support the Buck.
Uno is such a fun game, and you can lose so much money on it. Perfect.
Have you ever played a game of Uno for money?
I've never played Uno for money. That's really
many times.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How is that? How does it work?
Well, my bank account reads 0 right now.
That's from poker.
Yeah. Quit
I
playing.
lose on any game we play, boys. Any single game we play, I lose.
But you participate.
So, Uno, I'm going to lose more. Uno is just a fun game. I like Uno.
I love the reverse. I love the skip. I like how you can target specific people just to screw them over if you have a personal vendetta.
Oh, yeah. Get right in their grill.
I grew up playing some Uno. Tater, what do you got?
This was tough. Because, I mean, you can also include, like, what, Cards Against Humanity, which is just pure madness and fun. I mean, again, that's more of a card game, but it's a great social interaction card game. I also, if you guys haven't played Catchphrase is fire. I love it. You get a group of 6 people together, and you could play Catchphrase for hours. You're only limited by the software being able to generate answers.
So what is Catchphrase?
Catchphrase is, so let's just say that we add Lindsay, Levy's wife, to this equation, and there's 4 of us playing. It's 2-on-2, essentially. You team up. So basically, the way you play it is like you can pick a category, whether it be everything. Let's just say sports for this, the sake of this podcast. So a sports name will come up. Say the answer is Michael Jordan, but you have to give clues similar to, I don't know, what would be I forget one of the other games, but you can't say it starts with, you can't say it rhymes with, you can't say stuff like that. So you basically have to give them clues without giving specific triggers for them to give answers. But there's a timer going, and the timer goes and it goes beep, 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 but then it starts to speed up when it gets closer. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh man,
it's like a game of hot potato. Whoever's holding the device at the end, when the buzzer stops, loses the point. So you want to get that shit out of your hands as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that is anxiety inducing.
Exactly. So
Is that your choice?
What's that?
Is that your official choice? Is that your final answer?
No, but I'm pulling a Dan Orlovsky right now. I'm faking everybody out.
I hate this because I know you're about to steal my pick.
Risk.
Ooh, no.
I'm on Risk because
Okay.
it's the game that never ends. Again, you need content. So it's the game that'll never end. You'll probably run out of pieces to aptly supply your cards and properties and how many, I'm not properties, but I'm thinking Monopoly, but countries, territories that you own.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Have you ever had a game of Risk that has gone to the wee hours of the night and say, look, we got to stop this shit because it ain't going to end tonight?
I've never ended a game.
Board and then pick up the next day.
Never ended one game.
I've never even played Risk.
Oh, Risk is a good game. It's a military strategy game.
Speaking of strategy, I was surprised you didn't say this one, but I like Catan.
Ooh,
That is a game that I've played with Tater before.
You're kidding me.
It's a good game. I actually do
great.
enjoy it.
Dude, y'all play Catan?
So Catan is a game that I've played for money. That's something you can bet on for sure. Like $20 a head or something like that. Previously known as the Settlers of Catan or
Correct.
Settlers. If you have not played this, it's a great game, but it's hard to play in quarantine because I believe you need at least 3 people to play the game. So if you don't have roommates or you're not living with your family, some of you out there listening might be living with mom and dad still. I don't know. So maybe you can play Catan. I'm jealous, but it's just me, my wife, and my dog. So I can't really play Catan, and I don't even own Catan, but it's a great game.
Bucky, you sound like you were familiar with Catan and surprised that we are familiar with this apparatus.
I like Catan a lot.
It's a great mind game. Great.
It is a mind-blowing game.
I've lost a lot of money to shout out John Perrin.
He was in the comments earlier here.
And that bastard, yeah, he seemed to always. He's just better than me at it.
Yeah,
tough for me to admit.
Yeah, he introduced me to Catan as well out there in Chicago. So yeah, good game though. If you haven't played that, check it out. Victor, honorable mention there with Monopoly. I play that every time I'm home with my niece and nephew. It's just a long game, It's like Risk, I would assume, in that it's never ending.
I love Monopoly. I disagree. That's actually one of the Tate family pastimes. Is on Friday or Saturday night, the family would get together. My brother actually one time, little Jordy, when he was shout out dog. He was probably about 8 years old, and he knew he was going to lose. Kept rolling and either landing in jail or landing on hotels. So it was like 5 rolls in succession where he just got screwed. And he took the board and just flipped the whole damn.
That's awesome.
Scrambled everybody's money together as an 8-year-old kid. He was pissed. Anyway, no, I mean, I love Monopoly. I disagree with you guys. I think it's a great game.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just a long game.
Sorry's really underrated.
That's
I
a good
like
one.
Sorry.
We got honorable mention here with Game of Life as well for Dried Ocean. I dig it.
Life wasn't bad. I also like Guess Who.
I played that
Guess
a
Who
lot.
rules, man. There are some creepy people in there in the lineup. My God.
I played a lot of that as a kid, so good call on that one as well. All right, so final category, and I want to be transparent here. I haven't played video games really in a while, but what is your video game of choice in quarantine? Tater, I believe you're up first.
Oh,
Do you have a system? What are you playing these days? Do you have a system?
I do have a system. Yeah, I have Xbox One. By the way, if you want to go ahead and find your boy's gamer tag, I think I forgot my own.
The Tate one?
No. It's not the Tate one. I think it may be Tampa Tate 04.
Okay.
But it's harkening back to GameCube days. Super Smash Brothers Melee. Have either of you ever played this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I love Super Smash Brothers. So and that was, I get it's an older game, but the quality of it, how many different modes it has, and just the fact that you can always kind of have some sort of madness and strategy. And if you have other people in the house playing it, it's a great party game too.
It is.
I like that.
Great party game. I mean, I thought about also going maybe Mario Kart if you had people in the house to play multiplayer with, but you can have a single game experience with Super Smash Brothers as well. So that's why I went ahead with Super Smash Brothers Melee. I saw that comment though. Jason's back up there, bro. There we go. Yeah.
What's up, Flats? Tate, that's a good answer though. Bucky, what do you got?
FIFA 20. FIFA is the only game that matters. Period.
Wow.
I play soccer, bro.
I'm surprised you didn't say MLB The Show, though, because I know you're a show guy.
No, bud. I score goals, man. I score goals.
Do you
The
ever
last
FIFA?
time I played FIFA, Bucky, you ripped my heart out. I haven't played since then.
I did rip your heart out once.
Yeah, it was I was beating you 1-0, and you scored in the extra time, and then we went into OT, and you beat me, and it really crushed me.
Yeah, I know about that.
I don't like. I have Madden, the most recent Madden, which, by the way, Madden is essentially the Call of Duty of sports games because it just copies and pastes and it looks like shit year in, year out.
I hate that game.
I found myself rage quitting on multiple occasions because the functionality of it just doesn't work. There's a lot of bugs in the game, and there's part of it that I just suck and don't have enough time to get great at video games. But yeah, I mean that's the problem with the newer games and stuff of that nature. They're a little bit more complex, and I don't play enough gaming to really be able to truly enjoy it.
Oh, don't you?
I don't. Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones out there.
English, I think.
We got GTA in the comments here, Red Dead Redemption or NHL 20.
Red Dead rules.
There's a lot of good ones for sure. I used to be a crazy taxi guy on Dreamcast.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit. Crazy Taxi takes me back.
Yes. But
I actually thought the NFL one real quick about Dreamcast. I actually thought the NFL 2K franchise was better than Madden. And I'm sad. I'm really sad that the NFL gave its exclusivity license to EA Sports as opposed to 2K.
Do you remember the super dive in the NFL 2K though, where you could like hold down the arrow and they would dive like 15 yards to tackle the guy in front of them? That was one gripe I had about that game, but I did play a lot of that. I'm a big N64 guy. I used to play like QB Club with Brett Favre on the cover of that. I played that a lot.
Yep.
Obviously Mario Kart I played on N64, but I'm going way back on you guys here.
What's it, Randy Moss on the 2K? He was the cover guy
on 2K. Yeah,
NFL 2K, the original 2K. Yes.
Yeah,
Randy Moss, the GOAT, man.
I'm going all the way back to regular Nintendo, though. I'm throwing you guys a curveball here, and I'm going with a little bit of Paperboy. Paperboy.
I hate that game. It's so maddening.
Yes.
That is my jam. I love
hate
Paperboy. Come on.
I love Paperboy, dude.
Do you realize what kind of weird shit do they have to throw at you? Like, there's dogs that attack you. There's the Grim Reaper chilling on the street. There's like a guy doing like bicycle kicks on the sidewalk. There's all kinds of shit that can kill you. Even what is it? I don't even know it's got me upset. I hate that game. It's frustrating.
No, it's not. It's actually brilliant when you put it all together.
It is a good game. But if you play it in like one of these arcades where you go and you drink beers and they have all the old arcade games, if you play it on that, it's really hard. I need to play it on a real regular Nintendo.
I've got an old rip-off Nintendo.
Nice.
Half the text is written in Japanese. By the way, I don't speak Japanese. So I don't know. Just in case any of you were curious, I don't speak Japanese. But all right, so let's go ahead and review all the lists here, Levy. Give it to us.
All right, so on the food front, Tater's going Jack's frozen pizza, Bucky's going bagel bites, and I'm bringing chips and salsa into the vault with me. For booze, Tater's bringing old fashions and all his ingredients, making it complex on us.
It's so complex.
Bucky's bringing his Miller Lights. I'm going to bring some alcoholic seltzer, probably Corona brand at this point. Tell you what, man, I really like those Coronas.
Tell you what, man, I like those Corona seltzers, man. I'll tell you. They got all kinds of different flavors.
TV series. I'm going to go with Breaking Bad. Buck is going to go with The Wire. Tater is going to go with Game of Thrones, even though I believe his number one choice at heart was Breaking Bad. Board game. Bucky's going Uno.
Oh, yeah.
Tater is going Risk. And I'm going to go with Catan. For video game, Tater's going Super Smash Bros. Bucky's going FIFA. And I'm going Paperboy.
Yep. Paperboy works, man. Wow.
If you want rage-inducing, fits, then yeah, play Paperboy.
Half the people watching are too young to even know what Paperboy is. Go get yourself a regular Nintendo. Play some original Mario Brothers. Maybe
some OG Paperboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Courtney, I agree. Both of us.
Some Griffey Baseball, maybe. Oh, the Griffey Baseball is N64. That was a good game, too. I really like that. Great play, kid.
Slugfest? Griffey Slugfest, man. That was the game.
I don't think did Griffey have more than one baseball game? Because I remember one baseball game that I played was the one with all the teams, not Slug.
Yeah, Slugfest.
It was great. I mean, all the players had fake names, but you could tell they were made in their likeness. Like I forget what Frank Thomas's name was, but I mean he was the biggest player in the entire roster of the
year. It was Chet Stanfield.
See, I was more of a regular Ken Griffey Jr. baseball guy where the real players and names were in there. They had big circles and small circles. It was the gameplay was not great, but loved hitting dingers there.
By the way, Courtney used to cut. Speaking of, we talked about barbers.
Yes.
Folks that work at hair salons that, take care of our mains. Courtney used to take care of both mine and Ryan's, and she's got to be real sad seeing this video.
I mean, I used to get haircuts
right now. It's rough.
Every time I came to Chicago, and I can't travel anymore, so I haven't cheated, as you can tell.
I mean, I put on a hat. I was ashamed of my hair.
That's why I'm very upset at you. There's no reason to put on the hat. I'm rocking this. I'm still out of frame with the hair in some circumstances. Beautiful fiance, California games, best underrated NES game. I've never even played California games.
No
what
idea.
What does that mean? Like rollerblading?
What is that, Kelly?
Need more details.
Need more details.
In the comments.
What are we rollerblading, dude?
We forgot Blitz.
No.
Again, we're talking. I think that you have to separate whether it can be a one-player game or multiplayer. Because
GoldenEye.
Then you bring up GoldenEye and N64. That needs to be brought up if we're talking about multiplayer games.
It's surfing, BMX, and hacky sack.
The problem is
they had hacky sack compatible games on the NES.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on N64. Now that's a game.
I knew this would just be
Tony Hawk is great.
California up the butt. Surfing, BMX, hacky sack. Come on now.
Oh man.
Wrap it up.
Tater, sign us off.
Well, wait, what's bothering Bucky this week?
Oh yeah.
Nothing, man. There's absolutely nothing. I'm feeling great.
Bucky's turning into an absolute genius in the kitchen. He's got an air fryer now. Things are about to get crazy.
I can't wait. I'm going to air fry some tortilla chips.
We air fried some pizza earlier. This is great. So speaking of great, go ahead and subscribe and, go ahead and give us a like on this video if this is the first time coming across our YouTube channel. Of course, you can find us on our main podcast. If you are an audio podcast savant, you can find us on iHeartRadio as well as anywhere you digest your podcast. Of course, go ahead and give us a little bit of love on social media as well. You can find us on Instagram at Fantasy Focus, myself at DTater4, Bucky at Bucks59, and of course, he's got TT Podcoys.
Yep.
I think he's on Twitter.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, baby. I know it off the top of my head. Look at everybody. Thank you for joining us. Send us also go ahead and post on social media your quarantine. What do we call this?
Survival kit.
Survival kits. Let us know your favorite food, alcohol, TV series, board game, and video game that you really need to be able to get through this quarantine time. Thank you for everybody for joining us as well. Until next time, later. Says the Tater.
See ya.
See you guys.
Look how mangled my fingers look.